Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, it is that time of the year once again where we break down all of the rare recruits. Yes, the 30 cost rare recruit characters within One Piece Treasure Cruise. And in today's video, we're going to put them on a tier list and sort of give you guys an idea of what I believe to be the best rare recruits in the game, where their value lies, how good they are, and for you newer players, which ones you really want to look out for and which ones you want to max out. Now, obviously, with level limit break being a thing since the last tier list, getting all your rare recruits to like level limit break 5 and having 10 copies of each is going to be worthwhile. If you're a newer player, though, Rayleigh points can be very, very valuable. So, in today's video, I'm going to give you guys an idea of which ones you can pretty much Bazaar, get rid of them, send them to the Rayleigh shop, but I would highly recommend keeping at least one of every single character. Now, there's over 355 rare recruits in the game, and I know that because I had to take each individual icon and put them on a tier list myself. So, if you enjoy the video, belt the like button for me. If it helps you out, belt the like button. If you just love this type of content, belt the like button for me. If you are new to the channel, and you haven't done so already, hit that big red subscribe button as well. Hit the bell notification because New Year's is literally starting, like, today. So, you don't want to miss any of the content, you don't want to miss the summons, you don't want to miss the streams, so hit that bell so you don't miss out. As always, if I miss out on some stuff, I do my best to try and remember everything that these rare recruits do. But if you guys want to check out some of the previous tier lists, I will leave a link in the description for you as well. Make sure to go check out those for a bit more in-depth discussion. But if I do miss anything, please let it be known in the comments section below, because I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions, see what characters I might have missed out on and what characters have good supports and whatnot as well. We have a bunch of tiers. We're going to break that down. Enjoy the video. Let's dive in. Okie dokie. So the tier list looks a lot like it did 7 months ago. Huge shout out to the tier list maker. I'll leave a link in the description, as well as a picture at the end for you guys if you guys want to fast forward there and you don't want to hear all the explanations and stuff like that. This is going to be a long-winded video, so maybe grab some popcorn, grab some snacks, hit the 2x speed, and let's dive on in. As you guys can see, the tier list looks pretty much identical to as it was 7 months ago. I have the Just Amazing tier and the Just Good tier as the additions. That way we get a little bit more breakdown, and then obviously Don't Bother. This is to help you guys out with what you would want to Rayleigh's Bazaar, but as you guys can see here, and there's a cutoff of a whole nother line over here, there is a lot of characters to go through today. A lot of characters. All of these characters that you see down here are all characters that you will be able to pull on the New Year's banner. And I thought getting this out right before the New Year's banners go live will help you guys out, especially you newer players, on what characters to sift through and what characters are worth your time. So starting from the top, we've got Vivi. This character has an amazing support. Ace has a color affinity support. Shanks, don't bother. It hurts me to say it, but sell him. You've got Vivi, who's got a great support. This Luffy is free to play. This Lion Song Zoro has a great support. So does this Nami. You can sell this Marco. You can honestly sell all of these Whitebeard pirates. They're all pretty dookie, along with Law and Hawkins and Killer and your Rogue. This Beppo, though, has a very good support. Same with Kid having color affinity. Apu has a pretty good support. I'd hang on to a copy of him just in case. X-Drake, though, can see you later. This Bonnie has another very good support. This Beige, all of these characters are pretty much dookie, and we don't need to worry about them. Rakuyu, though, very good support for Ace. Has been very, very handy for Yamato and Ace teams, so make sure to pick him up if you've got him and actually utilize his support. Whitey Bay, one of the best supports in the game. Make sure to max her out if you guys have her. Terrific on any slasher units. As for Oars and Koala, Hack, this Ivankov has a poison removing support. Very, very good. Kaku, honestly, has dropped off crazy. You don't need him. Caulifla has, as far as I remember, she has a good support. Jabra is okay, I guess. With Jabra, you kind of want to make sure that you limit break, expand him. That's going to get the best value out of Jabra there. But other than that, like, for a newer player, like, I probably wouldn't bother. But hang on to one copy, because once you become more established, he does become very, very good. For, like, that high investment. More for speed farming teams and stuff like that. As for, like, Monet and Virgo, Baby 5, all of these particular characters here are not worth your time. This Sugar, she's okay because she has a auto kill if you are if you are at 20% or sorry, if the enemy is at 20% or less HP, you can actually get an instant kill. I'm actually just gonna make this a little bit bigger for you guys. You can actually get an instant kill. So she's okay, I guess. These particular Don Quixote family pirates are all pretty trash. Even this Zoro, Robin, like all of these units just suck nowadays. And if you actually see any of them, you can pretty much just release Bazaar them. This Nami, she's okay, I guess. She's nothing too crazy. This Usopp, you can use this Usopp. I'm actually going to put him on the tier list just because he can be used in Grand Voyage. Otherwise, he's pretty much in like a don't bother. This particular Viola, she's okay because she can be a belly booster. But nowadays, we just get free-to-play characters that sort of just do that. As for the rest of these Don Quixote family members, they're all pretty trash. The Funk Brothers and... Okay, this guy, this particular Apu and Jeet's actually not bad, especially for speed farming with Slasher and Striker teams. They give, what's it called? They give, cooldown. This Shirohoshi, she's okay, I guess. She's got good healing, good, utility. Kyros has a great support on Rebecca units. I've actually used it quite a bit, something for like Dofi 2. As for these Straw Hat characters, these all suck. These Dressrosa characters all suck. King Punch. King Punch is not bad. He's not bad for like the buggy team, for like speed farming stuff. I dislike him thoroughly, but he's not bad. Again, these characters down here, okay, from like just good downwards, like these particular characters here, from just good to not bad. I probably wouldn't level them up. These are pretty much just characters that I would keep a copy of, just in case you need them moving forward, once you become more established. This Zoro kind of sucky. These particular characters suck. This guy can dupe drops. He's definitely an option, but honestly, nah, he sucks with the new free-to-play characters that came out. Blenheim, or what's his name? And Atmos, not Blenheim, Atmos. Atmos is actually very good once you Limit Break expand him. He's actually very, very good. Honestly, nowadays, he's probably just good, but like, he's probably sitting somewhere between here, and for now, we'll put him at very good, but that's subject to change. Speed Guru, definitely not worth your time. Neither are these Straw Hat characters or Sentomaru. This Smoker is not bad because of the Captain Swap mechanic that he has, but other than that, like, you're not really ever going to use him too much. Lafitte has a fantastic support for Blackbeard characters, or mainly Blackbeard himself. Shiryu, he's okay, I guess. I'm pretty sure he has the one that has the killing mechanic, so we have to put him on the tier list because of the whole, like, zombie Kazuna situation. Kobe, 3 turns of attack down for Garb characters. Very, very good support. As for Garb and Suru and these particular characters, they are all pretty trash. The first amazing character we're going to put on the tier list is Time Skip Nami. Now, Time Skip Nami, once upon a time, was an absolute god. She came out for the 2nd year anniversary, and she's still up here on this tier list. For me, I'm going to put her down at just amazing. You could put her in Limit Break Plus, but, like, you don't need to Limit Break Plus this unit. That's why I'm thinking she's maybe in just amazing. I feel like she's going to sit right here, but like I said, just like Atmos, subject to change, we will put her in Limit Break Plus. I Limit Break Plus mine. I think she has a great Limit Break Plus. No, I don't think she has a great Limit Break Plus, but I think she's such a good unit she could Limit Break Plus her. This Sanji, you only ever use him for support with his paralysis and despair removal. This Chopper, Usopp, this Robin, she's okay. Like, she's nothing crazy, but she's okay. This Brook, he's okay too, but honestly, nowadays, probably don't worry about him. This Chopper, actually, this Chopper is pretty good. I'm going to put him in just good. He's pretty good in the sense that you can use him for some despair removal and stuff, I'm pretty sure. I know I have him Limit Break expanded, because he isn't terrible. This Hyozu, he's okay, I guess. But nah, like, honestly, nah, you probably don't need him. As for these particular characters, they're all pretty whatever. I know Daruma has a good support, though, and Zio, I don't even know if Zio has a good support. I don't think he does. Dosan, someone said Dosan was good, but, like, I don't think so. This Fukaboshi is not bad. I've definitely used the Fukaboshi. He's got a good orb and attack boost for powerhouse characters. I'm going to put Neptune in just good for XP farming. Honestly, no, he can go in just bad. Not bad. Because he's, like, okay for XP farming. As for the rest of the fishmen, they all suck. This Rayleigh's pretty trash. Duval's dropped off like crazy. This Perona is going to go in... I think she's going to go, honestly, in just amazing. Because she's, like, honestly almost irreplaceable for Grand Voyage at Orangetown. So I think she's just, because of that, she's so good. And if you pick her up, make sure to max her out. She's going to make your time a lot easier in that particular piece of content. This Wanda, she's okay. She's not bad. The paralysis removal makes her okay for Dofi 2. Kinemon, I think Kinemon has an okay support. I'm going to put him down here because I can't remember too much. As for Momo, this Kuma. with double special activation has an amazing support, so make sure to max him out. But after he gets double special activation, he is so good. Like, he is so freaking good. 14 turns of, like, Bind and Despair removal. He's an absolute demon. This Lucci, he's okay. He's okay. This Croc has an amazing support for Robin characters. This Moria, Pedro, Carrot, Kanjuro, fantastic support for Kinemons with Bind and Despair removal. Same with Raizo, being Paralysis and Special Bind. This Raizo support, honestly, is so good, especially for something like K-Dad. So freaking powerful. These Straw Hat characters, I'm pretty sure you guys have some okay supports. I know that the Usopp makes Recovery Orbs, rotates Recovery Orbs. I know you get 80% damage reduction. Shout out to the new Legend Robin. Jinbei gives you a chain boost with his support, which is great. But as for Ivankov, you give a conditional boost against poison, actually. So you're not too bad. Mr. 2, nah. The combination of the Sandersonia sisters. Now, for striker teams, they're just good. Like, honestly, if you run the two of them together, they're just good. But normally the way that I like to run these characters is I like to run Sandersonia as the support and then run the Boa Marigold. Especially with Boa, Kizuna Boa being a thing, this particular Marigold and this Boa combination can be good. I'm going to put them together because, like, the OG combination of these two was just insane. Nowadays, it's just good. You get defense down, conditional, full border orbs, and an attack boost. Like, it's still a good combination, but it's just good. Margaret, no. Beppo has a fantastic support removing Threshold when you hit a perfect with a Law character. This Sanji completely removes Poison. He's fantastic. Zoro, no. This Nami has a good support. She's not a bad character, though, so she's okay, I guess. This Brook, his support's okay. I'd max it out, but I don't use it that often. Chopper sucks. As for the Dressrosa combinations, these guys were okay. If you partnered them up together, you get the defense removal. Defense up, or set the defense to 0, and you get a conditional. Nowadays, honestly, wouldn't bother. You have a fantastic support for Doflamingo, removing 2 turns of Threshold and defense up. This Kyros kind of sucky. This Viola, with her Limit Break expansion, she's not bad. She's not bad at all. Rebecca, though, she sucks, and so does these particular units, being Senior Pink and Pika. For driven teams, though, the Sugar and the Treble are really good. Honestly, for me, the Treble is sitting up here in amazing. He's got 4 turns of every defensive effect removal, and he can also give, like, 2 turns of cooldowns on the top, and plus gives you an attack boost if you run a full driven team. You don't need to Limit Break plus him, but he goes down to such a low cooldown that I would highly recommend it, especially for some content like Dofu 2 and stuff like that. He is so freaking good. Koala has a fantastic support. When you use a special on Sabo, you get 2 turns of Bind and Despair removal. Same with this Nami. She goes on pretty much any Straw Hat, which works like an absolute treat. It's not every Straw Hat, but it's pretty much all Straw Hats. This Koala, she's okay. She got a good support, but with her Limit Break expansion, I'm pretty sure she got a pretty big buff. But most of the time, you're going to use her as a support character. This Shirahoshi is so freaking good. She removes so much stuff. Special Bind, Paralysis, she does healing. I'm pretty sure she gives you some orbs as well, which is really, really fun. She came out with the Robin batch. I would definitely Limit Break expand her. She gives you attack down removal. She changes the top row characters into matching. She does a whole bunch of good utility stuff. Nowadays, she's probably dropped off quite a bit, just like Nami. Definitely Limit Break plus her still, though, and she's got a fantastic support going on Neptune and Fukaboshi. So make sure to max her out. As for this Marco, I'm a big Marco fan. I think he's very good. He gives a chain boost. He gives attack down removal, which is great. Came out alongside Luffy and Ace, but as for the rest of that batch sucks. Sengoku and Hina were pretty good, but brand new, definitely a no-no. Hina, she's not bad. She gives 2 times color affinity. She's not bad. I think she locks slots as well, which is kind of interesting. But the Sengoku, I really like this Sengoku. This Sengoku is really good. 4 turns of attack down. He's an orb booster. I think does he do special bind as well? I know he definitely does attack down removal. And he's definitely an orb booster, but you do need 4 quick or Psy characters on the squad to actually get that. He does despair removal, and then he makes orbs matching as well. So he's probably just very good. I Limit Break expanded mine. He's got a pretty good support that goes on Garp for despair removal and attack down removal for 1 turn. But yeah, he's very good. He's very good. Chobro is not bad. He's not bad. Honestly, he's probably just okay. As for Carrot, the Carrot has a good support, if I remember correctly. She did get a level limit break expansion. Sorry, a limit break expansion, not level limit break expansion. No, she's got a trash support. She just removes paralysis and despair. Look, she can probably go in okay, I guess, as well. She's just okay. The Brook I like a lot. His color affinity. He doesn't really do too much else, but he's not bad. As for Pedro can be okay. Like, he can be okay, giving an attack and an orb boost. As for Dice can remove barriers, and he's an orb booster when you actually have your captain as a strength or a quick character. Removing the barriers is probably the best part, but nowadays the one turn is just not enough, so he's probably just good. Moving on to Baccarat. Baccarat's an amazing unit for Revolutionary Army 2, so if you're struggling with that, she's very, very good. I would limit break expand her for her cooldowns, but she's probably at the back end here. I'm going to move Nami down here just because you don't need to limit break expand her. Like, the buffs you get just aren't worth it, and she's just amazing. Nowadays. Anyway. As for the rest of that batch, you definitely don't need Mr. Tanaka, and honestly, Karina, all I use Karina nowadays is for her support. She was a very good character, but like, if you are going to use her as a newer player, I would just max out her support and not worry about the rest. As for Brulee is stinky. You do have a Monday, and she's not bad. When she gets cooldowns, she does a 50% HP cut, which is nuts. Bobbins, though, Bobbins is still the GOAT. Bobbins is still godly. It shocks me that this unit is still so good, and they even tried to replace him with the Film Red Brook, and still this man stands at the peak. He removes 1 turn of Special Bind with his Sailor. He removes 5 turns of all your defensive effects, being Defense Up, Damage Reduction, and Threshold. 5 turns of attack down, and gives you some matching orbs. It's actually nuts. He's a free spirit. He's a slasher. He does some really, really, really cool things. He's a very, very good rare recruit. If you get him, max him out ASAP. As for Oven, honestly, don't bother. Red Leg Zeph, good support for Sanji with a fighter color affinity. This Pudding's really good. I would say Limit Break expand her, but I would not say that she's amazing. That's the thing, right? So I would probably say that she's very good nowadays. Or probably at the back end of just amazing. So we'll put her up here. Let's put her up here. We can change that later. The Air Chicken Dude, no thank you. Peckham's, yeah, he's not bad, I guess, if you need defense up removal, but, I mean, with, like, Robin. Oh, wait, it's 80%. Boa, no. Mihawk, no. Kizaru, no. As for Strawberry, no. Indigo, Scarlet, no-nos. Smoothie's good. Smoothie's good. I gave her, she got double special activation. I Limit Break expanded mine, but look, lately, she's pretty much just good. As for Perispero, though, Perispero is one of those amazing units. I would Limit Break expand him for his, like, he gets cooldown reduction, which is great. As well as he gives cooldown reduction. So he's a very good unit. He has double special, as I mentioned. And he goes down to 8 turn cooldown with Limit Break expansion. So definitely a very, very good rare recruit. Honestly, for me, he's almost up there in godly for what he does, being color affinity for strength, dex, and quick, as well as giving 1 turn of cooldowns, locking slots, doing damage. Like, he's very good. Cracker can go right next to Pedro, wherever Pedro went. Pedro's here. Cracker basically does what Pedro does, but your captain has to be a certain thing. Daifuku is amazing. Definitely max him out for treasure map shenanigans. Shout out to my boy Sim. I know you love this unit. For me, he's at the back end though, because like his Limit Break expansion just gives cooldowns. But you bet your ass Daifuku's really good because he just wave clears like crazy. As for Aladdin's good as a support for Jinbei with his level Limit Break, but Aladdin's purely made for Praline. Praline's still honestly an amazing unit, especially for Cerebral and Powerhouse teams, giving 5 turns of damage reduction removals, defense up, threshold. She gives some orbs, she does some healing. If you are using Jinbei for whatever reason, you pretty much want to run her with the support of Aladdin. Any character that can remove all the defensive effects is most likely going to find their way up into Godly, so I would highly recommend maxing them out. So, Praline, she's one of those characters. Bobbins, he's one of those characters. Next, we have Watatsumi is trash. As for Hachan's a self-rocking conditional booster. Your captain does need to be Powerhouse. Nowadays, it's not the best, but it's definitely still good. He has a good support for Nami units, giving recovery orbs through block as well, which is very, very good. Kami, no. This Chiffon can go on Beige for like a lot of healing, so when Beige gets more characters, she'll be very good. Make sure to max out her support. As for the rest of that batch, absolute dookie butthole. Bins is trash, but Aames is so good. Aames is still godly, with their double special activation being a slasher, so you can use Whitey Bay, you can remove Bind, you can remove Despair, you can remove Defense Up, you can what else does she do? I think she has healing. She gives damage reduction, blind, despair, defense up. She gives damage reduction. She gives heal. Yeah, she has a lot. Like, she just does a lot. Nowadays, I don't use Iron as much as I used to because there's only 4 turns of everything. But she is still an absolute demon. Absolute demon for what she does. Great utility, and she was a god for taking down some particular pieces of content. As for Stussy, Stussy's got an okay support, but honestly, don't bother. Opera, my boy Opera. I'm going to put him right next to Daifuku. Mainly used for wave clearing in Treasure Map for myself. However, this guy is an orb booster or is a color affinity booster and has double special activation depending on what you're rocking. When you Limit Break expanding, he goes down to a 10-turn cooldown. He does damage for wave clearing. He boosts the type effects of fighter, slasher, shooter, cerebral, and strikers for 1 turn. Otherwise, he greatly boosts your slots. He's a very, very good rare recruit and a double special activation. You 100% want to max him out. Barbaros, no. Galette. Galette's actually pretty good. She's actually pretty good. She gives you a 3x chain lock. And she can pick 1 unit to get cooldown, which is very good for the new Big Mom, as she also triggers the new Big Mom's ability, giving 2 turns of cooldowns. As long as your captain is int or quick, she sets the chain multiplier 3 times. It's good. It's just good. She also delays too, which is very, very nice. She's a good unit. What's her name? Flampe just has good support for Katakuri. Charlotte Montedor is actually pretty good. I'm going to put him at the back end of amazing here. He does 4 turns of defense up. He does color affinity as well, which is actually pretty handy. He came out alongside V1 Katakuri, and I haven't used him all that much, but when he was out, he was definitely very, very good, as he does damage reduction and defense up, but he also does burn and special blind removal as well. Honestly, I'm going to put Galette down, and I'm probably actually just going to move him down a tier. The special blind removal is great. 4 turns is a bit off the money, and he only does color affinity to strength and size, so it's not bad. It's actually very good, but it's definitely not on the same tier as Nami. Definitely, when she's doing 5 turns and you're doing 4 turns, like, yeah, you can't put them in the same tier. Next we've got Strusen. Strusen, he's okay. He gives you full body recovery orbs, great for getting around stuff like hunger. As for Ideo, I have used Ideo, but he's still not worth your time. King Punch and you definitely not. The Slasher batch, Mr. 1 is actually very good. He does 4 turns of your damage reduction removals, and he also makes slots that are negative, not negative, which is fun. He doesn't make them positive, but he makes them not negative, and it's 3 turns of defense up, damage reduction, and threshold. It's pretty nice. He also has Shipbind with his Limit Break expansion, which is pretty cool, but just being 3 turns makes him very good, not like these characters up the top here. Next we've got Hyozo has a really, really good Limit Break expansion. He has Special Bind removal, which is great. When you Limit Break expand him as well, he gets Fear reduction, which is great for the Special Blind. However, he only removes Special Bind on himself for 3 turns, and then he does 5 turns with his Special, so that does like hinder him drastically, but nevertheless, he's still a very good unit. Next, you've got this Kaku. This Kaku is, he's amazing. I'm going to put him right next to Pudding, because the two of them basically just destroy Revolutionary Army 2. He's a Slasher and Striker, is a very good unit. As for this guy, the Ghost guy, he's kind of trash. Invenkov. They're an amazing character. They have a very good switch ability. They have great utility. They have very good healing. This character, in the early days when you still have to stall and stuff, like, this character will carry you through a lot of stuff, and has a lot of very good supports and goes on a lot of very good teams. As for Kaku and Lucci, they are pretty good. Nowadays, not used all that much, but Slashes are still amazing. Their switch ability can be quite useful. Smoke and Tashigi, as well as Robin and Croc, they both suck though. As for the Revolutionary Army batch, they all suck except for Karasu. Karasu is, honestly, I'm gonna put him in just amazing. Nah, you know what? He's got to go in. He's got to go up here in like godly. Any character that can remove Special Bind and Special Reversed and then has Fear with their Limit Break expansion, I feel like has to be in the top here, because the combination of Special Bind removal and Special Reverse is so freaking annoying. Like, it's one of the most annoying combinations. And this guy does 2 turns of cooldown, which is great. He also does burn removal too. Nowadays with captains like Special Bind removal captains or Halloween Ace, you don't have to worry about it too much. But it is still very handy. Honestly, for me, he'd probably be on the cusp here. Probably like just like at the top of this Limit Break Plus tier. But he still can be very, very good. Looking at Praline actually and some of the other characters that are coming, I feel like I want to move her down as well. I feel like I definitely do. I think I want to move Perispero up as well, because the double special for the 2 turns of cooldown is so freaking nice on an 8-turn cooldown. And you get to do some cool things with locking orbs and stuff. This Kobe, no. Viola's kind of whatever. I know this Bonnie has a good support for Kuma characters. She gives like 5 turns of bind removal, which is crazy. This Chopper has a very good Limit Break expansion. I do remember Limit Break expanding him. He has some good utility as well that came out alongside Bullets. He does Despair removal and some other shenanigans as well. As healing, despair, paralysis. Oh, he has all the chain lock manipulation and stuff like that he gets rid of. This Robin is color affinity. She's not bad. Not bad at all. She locks orbs too. This Brook's okay. He can be a very good attack booster, but you have to hit like 5 perfects, which is very, very frustrating. This Zoro, he's not bad as well. He's okay. He gives a orb boost to Sai and Dex, and then you got this Nami, who basically is the same as this Karasu in terms of what she does. She gives she has fear removal, and then she gives cooldowns as well as removing special bind, which is actually crazy. She also removes regular bind and chain lock as well. So, in my opinion, she's a little bit better than what the Karasu is, but she's only for Sai and Dex. They're both on 13-turn cooldowns, and they both have fear, so Limit Break expand them ASAP. As for Frankie, big no-no. This Jack has a great support for Kaido, giving 1 turn of cooldowns. Hold'em can remove barriers by 1 turn. And he's a chain lock. So for that, I'm going to put him right next to Dice. I think he's better than Dice. But he pretty much is on the tier list for the exact same reason. Speed, she's okay. Speed's just there for like cooldowns for speed farming teams. This Koala, honestly, save 1 copy of this Koala for when the what's it called? I'm going to put her up here just so you guys save 1 copy. She's so good for the 0 Stamina Luffy event. Absolute demon for that. Reiju has a support. Can't remember what it is, but I know she has one. So I definitely max that out. I'll keep a copy so you do. This Dofi, I Limit Break expanded this Dofi because he's so good in Revolutionary Army 2. He's a fighter, and what does he do? He does attack and orbs, but he's for fighter characters, and I want to say he's for cerebral characters as well. Sorry, shooter characters, fighters and shooters. But he completely removes all enemies' resilience, so that's a really big aspect of the character. He's just very good, and with his Limit Break expansion, he goes down to 9-turn cooldown, and then you can, like, for Dofi 2, he's, for Revolutionary Army 2, he's actually so freaking good. This, Okiku, she is actually amazing. With her Limit Break expansion, she goes down to some ridiculous amount of turns, and she gives color affinity for 2 turns, just like the Perispero does. But she only does it to quicken int characters, but she also removes blind and despair. So she's a very, very good unit, like a very, very good unit. I kind of want to move these 2 down because of what you use them for. Same, actually, I'm going to move you down because you're pretty much designed for Revolutionary Army 2, where you're designed for Dofi 2, so you kind of fit in the same tier. Nah, these 2 are just so good. I'm going to leave them there for now because you have defensive up removal as well. I totally forgot to mention that. Going on to Otama. I'm pretty sure this Otama has a support. I'm going to put it back on the back end because I stuffed up that last time and I can't remember. As for Bonkichi Brook. This guy honestly can't even remember what he does, so I'm going to put him in Don't Bother. Usahachi, absolute god. Probably one of the best rare recruits in the entire game. Just like Bobbins, he has special bind removal and he's Sailor. He does all of the defensive removals as Bobbins does, but he also gives cooldowns. Absolute demon, probably my most used rare recruit ever. I love this unit more than any other rare recruit, I would have to say. Next, you've got Frankie, don't even worry. Carrot, don't worry. This Alvida's, she's okay. Honestly, she's probably just good. No, probably no higher than that. And honestly, that's probably like giving her a lot. This Toshigi, she's okay. Yeah, she's okay. Don Krieg and Jin, definitely a godly rare recruit. Switchability is amazing. They're an orb booster. Can remove paralysis. Can remove despair. They're fantastic. Powerhouse and striking units, absolutely great. Django and Kuro, they're actually very good. They got a really good switchability. I undersold them last time I put them on the tier list. Stampede Crocodile, definitely a fantastic character. Is he just amazing or is he Limit Break plus worthy? You guys be the judge of that. I haven't used this Crocodile in a very long time, so I'm going to put him in just amazing. Kind of like these characters here. Like, once upon a time, I thought he was great, but now I think he's kind of dropped off. Damage reduction, resilience removal by 5 turns, locking orbs, and double slots for strength, quick, and psi. He's very, very good. Stampede Buggy, though, absolute god. Great for driven teams, has paralysis removal, special bind removal, paralysis removal, the sailor, sorry, and then remove special bind, rotates block orbs if your captain is driven. Fantastic, fantastic rare recruit. This Ivankov as well, I normally undersell this unit as well, but so good with special bind removal as well as orb manipulation. Absolute demon of a unit because he also has fear with his limit break expansion and removes bind and defense up as well. Very, very good. Next we've got Hercules and can remove poison, so look, I guess he's okay. This Kuma, no idea what this Kuma does, so we chuck him here. This Boa, actually, I've used this Boa not like more often than not because she can lock orbs and she has special bind removal. She came out alongside our V2 Snake Man, but this lore from that batch is godly. 5 turns of paralysis, bind, despair, and resilience removal. Plus, he does damage, which means you can use supports on him that like Akainu and whatnot. But he's a lore character, so he has so many options for like Corazones and stuff like that. And he can also go down to a 10-turn cooldown with his limit break expansion. Absolute phenomenal rare recruit. Enel, honestly, has dropped off significantly. This Dofi, he's good. Color affinity booster and also has special mind by 2 turns and has double special activation. So you definitely want to start maxing him out if you are a free-to-play character. A free-to-play or new player. Wow, I'm speaking so fast that words are hard. Defense up, threshold removal, color affinity, special blind. He's a good character. He's very, very good. Page 1 has great support for attack down removal, and this X-Drake, literally all you guys are going to use them for is supports, so don't stress about that. Caesar's really good. He gives cooldowns, but nowadays, like, I just could not tell you last time I used him, so he's okay, I guess. This Bonnie, same thing. Like, she's okay, I guess, but nothing too flash. As for this Ivankov, he's trash. This Luffy and Sabo are actually, like, honestly, they're very good. One of them gives an attack boost, which is the Luffy. They both give cooldowns, and they both give adjacent orbs. This Sabo is probably not as good as the Luffy is, because he only does a chain boost. But they both have utility as well. The Luffy has something, while the Sabo can give you the chain growth, the chain manipulation reduction, which is very, very nice. The Luffy, the Luffers, he actually is going to remove paralysis. So that's always fun. They're great units. They came out with one lore. These 3 units right here are all fantastic. The Robin, as you guys know, she's godly. Same thing as these units here. Has all the damage reduction and defensive removal, as well as despair, and gives whatever orb she has as matching, plus she's a Robin. This Rebecca does 7 turns of special bind. Absolutely phenomenal, and does 3 turns of color affinity. While this Viola, honestly, this Viola is going to go in godly because she is, like, honestly irreplaceable for the local sea monster. So if you have this unit, please max her out. Please get her up. Limit break expander, do everything you need to do for her because she is going to be a god in a particular piece of content that hasn't changed since its release about 6 months ago. So, yeah, be mindful of that. This Nami has double special activation. She's not bad. I like her for her cooldowns, and she does, like, color affinity. The double special's nice. This guy is okay, Beige. He was good for Worst Generation, but that was about it. This Boa, I have never really used this Boa, but I know she does special bind removal, and she makes orbs matching. Halloween Buggy is amazing. Just like Stampede Buggy, he is so good. Defense up removal, special bind removal. Another unit that, honestly, you could argue to be put in Godly because he's so good for Grand Voyage as well, and for that reason I'm actually going to put him at the back end here, because at the end of the day, you got to take in all game modes into account, right? The King, Queen, and Jack combination nowadays has been completely power crap, so I'm going to put all 3 of them in just amazing. However, I am going to creep up King and put King in amazing because he has the special bind, despair, and special reverse for powerhouse characters. I think I've used him way more than what I would use the other 2, but both of them are very, very good still. As for Neptune, he has a very good support, so I definitely would max that out. And Leo does as well, that goes on Shirahoshi characters, so definitely max out those 2 particular characters for their supports. As for the Roger and Odin batch, Neko and Inu have dropped off something severe. Nowadays, I'd probably just say they're not bad. The downside to these units, obviously you have to use them together to get the full effectiveness, but they only do 4 turns of what they do, like paralysis, special blinds, all that sort of stuff. When they're boosted, they work, but again, remember, like, keep one of every single character that you see above for when you do need them. But, like, yeah, they're not a character that you would just, like, rave over. As for Rayleigh, though, Rayleigh is very good. He does two times color affinity and can remove threshold and damage reduction effects. He's very good. That Rayleigh is definitely very, very good. As for Kamizo and Gukimaru, Kamizo you probably don't have to worry about, but I'm going to put him in okay, I guess. He's a chain locker, which is quite nice for a rare recruit. And then this Gukimaru, I'm definitely going to put this Gukimaru up quite high. I'm going to put him in just good, because he's actually, you can use him for Grand Voyage level 5 at Shellstown. So that's a big reason I'm going to put him up quite high on the list for what he does anyway. Rare Recruit Jozu and the Akainu vs. 8 Spatch. Now, all these characters are so freaking phenomenal. Jozu has a fantastic support, so you definitely want to max that out. However, he is an absolute incredible character. He does Despair removal, he does damage reduction, which is great now under the new Yamato. And he also does cooldowns. At the moment, for me, he's probably just amazing. But you could make an argument to put him in the Limit Break Plus tier. This Luffy, Kuzan are so good. However, the Sengoku is probably just not bad. He does tap timing, but he also has a very, very good support, so make sure to max that out. The Luffy's probably a bit better than the Sengoku, but nowhere near as good as what Jozu is. But the best of the batch for me, and it's not even close, is this particular Kuzan. I use this Kuzan so much that I'm actually going to put him up in Godly. He's a free spirit attack booster. He has defense up and threshold removal. He's so good. Like, he is so freaking good. He does get carried hard by free spirits. He has Barry Pen. He's a shooter. I would highly recommend maxing him out because he's very, very good. But if you guys want to make it a case to put him there, look, I would understand as well. But for me, I really like him. I use him more often than most of the other rare recruits in that amazing tier. As for the Blackbeard Pirates, like, they honestly suck. The Katarina Devon, she's okay, I guess. If you're running Super 10 and Blackbeard teams. As for these characters, I've never used the Apu. The X-Drake, people rave on about, so I'm going to put him up here in okay, I guess. I don't rate him. But the Hawkins, I'm actually putting Hawkins in not bad. I've actually used this Hawkins more often than once. So he's got to go not bad for me. So I feel like that's a good justification. As for the anniversary batch of the Onigashima Trio, all of these characters are fan-fucking-tastic. Jinbei, for me, has dropped off the most. I'm going to put him in just good. He's a color affinity booster, and he has some utility. But the Zoro is godly. He's a special bind removal. He does threshold removal. He's also a orb booster. He does so much. I use this Zoro like religiously, and he has fear, which means he removes special bind. And he also does attack down. He also locks orbs as well, so that's very, very good. As for the Killer kind of came out of nowhere with this particular batch. He does Despair removal. He gives cooldowns. He makes orbs matching. I really like this Killer, but he's nowhere near as good as the Zoro for me. Like, not even close. The next batch we had was the batch that came out alongside Whitebeard Whitebeard vs. Shanks. Ben Beckman, honestly, like, don't even bother. Like, I've never used the Ben Beckman ever, which hurts my soul to say. Vista is another one of these characters that's really, really good for wave clearing in the amazing tier. Like, these three characters together all are great wave clearers. He's very similar to what the Opera does in terms of the color affinity and the orb boost as well. And then the Rockstar. The Rockstar is so freaking good as well. He does Despair removal. He does barrier removal. He also does orb locking for 2 turns, which is very, very good. And he also does attack down as well, which is great. And he also rotates block orbs. Fantastic rare recruit. The Conjurer and the what's his name? What are these two guys? I can't remember their names. They suck. Don't worry about them. This Bello Betty, she's got a good support, and so does this Koala. That's literally the only reason I ever use them now. Koala especially, attack down and bind removal on any Sabo. This does chain boundary or chain boosting removal sort of thing. This Kaku, he's okay, but honestly, you're only ever going to use him for his support, for his attack down removing support. This Stussy, she's not bad. Nah, she's just okay. She's just okay. The Sasaki, the Who's Who, and the Black Maria, all of these characters have dropped off something fierce, but they are all still not bad. If you like partner them all up for Driven and like their other respective class, Who's Who's an attack booster, Sasaki's an orb booster, Black Maria does special bind removal. The Black Maria, honestly, is probably a bit better than the other two, so I'm going to put her up here in just good. But as for the rest, like as for these other two, I haven't used them in God knows how long. But I did use them quite a while, for quite a while, because like despair removal is quite nice, paralysis removal, and an attack boost is good. Where I think Sasaki does like threshold removal and stuff like that as well. So they can also trigger Kaido's super tandem, so that's also something to note with them as well. As for the Bonnie and the Shirahoshi, both these characters are really, really good. I'm gonna put this Bonnie up, this Shirahoshi up here in very good, because I use her so much in Treasure Map, because she gives you a full board of rainbow orbs at the start of the quest. Very, very, very good sailor ability. As for Bonnie, Bonnie is nowhere near as good in my opinion, but she's still okay, because she does quick and free spirit characters, I'm pretty sure, as an attack boost if you have blind. If you have blind, she's at 2.25 attack boost to free spirit and fighters, and then she sets defense to 0. She removes blind and despair by 5 turns. Honestly, looking at her, she's actually so good. Where did I put her? She's here. She's actually so good. I'm going to put her up here in very good as well. Both of them can go together. Shirahoshi, she gets hard carried by her sailor, so that's the reason why I've got her so freaking high. Caesar and Hody. These characters are both so freaking good. The Caesar I had in Godly in my last tier list. Honestly, since that tier list, I've never used the character, so I'm going to drop him straight down into Just Amazing. He's a Chain Boundary Rare Recruit, which is very valuable, and I'm pretty sure he can also remove Despair and stuff like that as well. Nevertheless, like I said, I haven't used the character in God knows how long, and your captain needs to be just a driven character to get that sort of ability. So, honestly, I kind of want to drop him down like lower here into just very good. Next, we have Hody. Hody, actually, I use Hody a lot more than the Caesar, so I'm going to put Hody up here in Just Amazing. He has Bind Removal. I'm pretty sure he got his Limit Break expansion as well quite recently for Slot Bind Removal, but he also doubles the attack of Powerhouse and Drivens, and he rotates Block Orbs, which is actually amazing. Next, we've got the Momo and Shinobu. I'm going to put them up here in... I'm going to put them up here in Just Amazing, because they are like one of the units that are so good for Grand Voyage again. And they're pretty much irreplaceable on that particular team. Slash, if you get them, they're a character that you definitely want to use, because they're so good for the content. So, for Syrup Village, Grand Voyage level 5, you definitely want this particular character. As for this Sanji, the Sanji only has a good support, so that's basically it. Shanks and Buggy, I have to give Shanks and Buggy some love. They're honestly not that great, but they are quite good for Dofi too. So, I am going to put them up here in not bad, to be honest. They do paralysis, they have a sailor that removes paralysis. They can also have some pretty good supports with Buggy side of things as well, so that's quite nice. As for Scopper, Gaban, and Rayleighs, they're okay. Honestly, they're nowhere near as good as I thought they were going to be. I have not used them in God knows how long, so I'm going to put them in okay, I guess. This was last year's New Year's batch as well, too, by the way, so very interesting to see these characters sort of dropping off so much. As for Rhodey and Rhodey, BB, and what's the... I can't remember these other guys' names. They came out with Cat Dog. They were good for Cat Dog. That's about it. Ashura is pretty much only ever used as a support for me. Coming out alongside V2 Odin, I only ever use this guy as a support. Couldn't even tell you what he does. This Raizo's support, though, is so freaking good. I'm actually using it at the moment in Kazuna. So, so good. Does end of turn damage. One of the only characters that can do that, but you do need to get blinded. So that's a bit of a downside, but when it works on like Kinemons and Denjiros, it's so freaking good. And then this Kawamatsu, he's okay. He's probably the best of the batch. This Shiradoji wasn't too bad, but like this Kawamatsu is definitely the one that I used out of the 3. The next 2 characters, Sanji and Robin, both of these characters are so good. This Sanji has honestly become a very, very good character. He's a chain boundary unit if your captain is free spirit. He also does damage reduction, movement, threshold, and resilience. Very, very good character. Honestly, I've used him more often than not. And I've used him in Super Boss Kazuna, which is wild to me. So, very, very good character. I'm definitely going to put him up here in Amazing. And the Robin, she's probably one of the best rare recruits in the entire game. One rare recruit of the year. Blind removal, special blind removal, gives cooldowns, has fear. Like, she does basically everything, man. She gives color affinity as well. She's absolutely phenomenal. Plus, she's amazing in Grand Voyage. Sorry, she doesn't have fear, but she probably will get fear. And she's a free spirit character. Literally, absolute god. Very, very good character. Next, we've got the Big Mom batch. All of these characters, honestly, I have not even used once, but I have used the Pudding support. I've definitely used the Cracker. I lied to you. I've definitely used him in Grand Voyage Barriate. So for that reason, I'm going to put him in very good for his damage reduction. As for the Perispero, I do know the Perispero has a decent support. So I am going to put him in support. And that's basically all I'm going to say about that batch. Next, we've got the anniversary batch. The anniversary batch of Zoro, Sanji, King, Queen, and Jack. All of these characters are absolutely godly. All of them have fantastic sailor abilities. They both, or sorry, not both. They all work fantastically under said legend that they go with. And for those particular teams, these characters honestly became like an absolute staple. For Kaido teams, King, Queen, and Jack could basically remove everything you had to worry about. They all have fantastic supports. They work so well in unison with each other. Special bind removal with King also gives an attack buff. Jack removes paralysis and also gives a chain boost. They have sailors where if you hit with a tandem orb, they give extra buffs to what they do. Jack can also remove bind and threshold. Queen gives base stats and can remove what's it called? Defense up, as well as damage reduction, where King can remove Despair, Special Bind, gives a 2.25 times attack boost to Powerhouse and Strikers. He also removes attack down. The three of these together, and then with Kaido as your captain, you can do monstrous things. And the same goes for Zoro and Sanji with Luffy. Sanji can remove paralysis and special bind. He gives us a chain boost. Zoro does color affinity. He removes threshold. He removes damage reduction. They're all very, very good characters, and rightfully so, being the anniversary rare recruits. All freaking-tastic characters. Make sure to max them out. As for the next couple units, this is where things start to drop off a little bit. The Heat and Wire, they're not bad. They're probably the best. Like, the reason they hold so high is because Kid needs them more than what they need Kid. And as for this Beppo is actually really good for that Super Tandem lore. Beppo's got double special activation. He can remove Despair, and he can also give you a full board of Tandem Orbs, which is very, very, very good for Super Tandem characters. He gives you a chain boost, he removes special binds, and if you use his special twice, you get the 5 turns of both. So, very, very good rare recruit. Next, we've got Page 1 and Ulti. Both of these characters I've only really ever used as supports. But Ulti would become your captain and could do some pretty cool stuff. But most of the time, I'm only ever using them as support. This Page 1 I did use in Super Boss Kazuna one time. He has some pretty good utility. And he triggers the ability for Kaido. But with like Legend Page 1, most of the time you're only going to ever use them as as supports. Next, you got Shinobu that came out alongside Hiyori and Ulti. She's actually pretty good. I actually used her quite recently, and she's actually a very good character, being an orb booster, and I think she does color affinity as well. She also has some utility in her kit that can remove threshold, as well as she's a chain booster, and then she also does an orb boosting as well. So she's actually quite good. Like I said, I recently used her, and she was very, very good for the team that I used her on. Brook. This Brook is the Brook that tried to replace Bobbins, but honestly, in my opinion, didn't. The reason I say that is because he doesn't have the special Seal Sailor ability, but he is still very good because he can actually remove block orbs. He was so good in the Arena Sasaki, which is actually live right now. He does 5 turns of defense up, damage reduction threshold, and he also does the 5 turns of attack down. Like I said, Bobbins V2, just he rotates block orbs instead of having that special bind removal. Very, very good unit. As for the other two, the Robin and the Nami, she's okay. Honestly, I'd probably say she's not bad. She gives cooldowns, which is awesome, but she only gives it to one unit. The idea of this was to give it to Uta, and then you get Uta special. She removes paralysis and chain growth, but she's also a chain booster over 2 turns, where the Robin is a conditional booster, and I found the Robin just to be way better. So I'm going to put the Robin up here in just good, but honestly, all of them, well, both of them, I should say, got absolutely outshone by Brook. Brook was definitely the prize of that particular batch. But nevertheless, I think the Robin is pretty good with special bind, burn removal, and to being a self-proc conditional booster if your captain is int. The downside is your captain has to be int for all these characters to really pop off. Moving towards the back end now. Holy dooly. There's so many. I told you there was so many characters to talk about. Gordon has a good support for Uta, and that's pretty much the only time you use Uta. The Kobe and Bluno, they're not bad. They're not great, but they're not bad. And the Sunny-kun is just good. The reason the Sunny-kun's just good is because he can completely remove ship bind. Not that you ever really need ship bind removal, but like it's definitely something unique to the character. And the Sunny-kun has some other utility in the kit, I'm pretty sure as well, being he gives 2 turns of special bind removal, special charge, and then also changes all slots into own type, so that's kind of nice. But like I said, he was probably the best of the 3 rare recruits that came out alongside Shanks, but Shanks and Ben Beckman Lucky were definitely the prize. As for the Luffy batch, we had the Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbei. These 2 units are quite interesting. I'm going to say they're very good. They give themselves cooldowns, and you can get 6 turns of their utility effects, which is actually very good when you need it to be, because that's kind of like legend tier. And one of them does color affinity, one does chain boost. I'm pretty sure Sanji does special bind removal, so that's always fun. They do like to do that with Sanji units. And they do give him special, he does the attack down and despair removal, and then he does the chain boost. Sorry, the chain boost is what they give most Sanjis. As for Zoro, he's color affinity, another thing they like to do with Zoros. And the Zoro does, the bind and paralysis removal by 6 turns if you use his special twice. Obviously, for these guys to work, you have to be above 50% HP, but using them together is quite challenging. As for the better of the batch, in my opinion, Jinbei, he gives damage reduction, and he gives cooldowns to Sai characters. He's an absolute demon, but obviously with the release of the newest Jinbei, the Legend Jinbei, kind of like undersold this guy. But with the new, with the new Yamato, this guy can give 90% damage reduction. He also removes threshold of defense up by 5 turns, so that was always fun. Very, very good units. Nonetheless, next we've got the Akainu and, the Sengoku batch. Now, all these characters are very, very good. But for them to sort of work the best, they need to really have one of every color. Kizaru can be a chain boundary unit if you are one of every color. Most of the time I use him as a support character. Kind of is what it is, but nevertheless, he is good. He's actually very good. The Akainu for me is actually the best of the batch, and he's the best of the batch by far. Honestly, I think the Akainu is godly. He removes blind, he removes defense up. If you have one of every color, he's a guaranteed conditional booster. And all of these characters have superclass. You can become a captain, and then you can swap out of being a captain. Which is very, very good to get around like captain swap mechanics. Because you can become your captain, and then you can stop being captain, which is just disgusting. So something to note there, especially if you actually get the captain swap mechanic. You can actually manipulate that. As for Kuzan, he's probably on the same realm as the Kizaru. And the Fuji, I've actually used the Fuji a little bit. Out of the 4, Kizaru and Kuzan are the ones I've used the least. Fuji I've used quite a lot, and the Akainu I've used so much. The Akainu's popped up in so many situations where he's been so good. Mainly because he's a fighter as well, and he works on Marco teams for me so freaking well. So definitely a unit you want to max out. Fuji's probably the next best, and the other 2, they do work quite nicely. Obviously, under Sengoku, they're all absolute chads. Finally, we have the latest batches, which are the K-Dad batch, as well as the Treasure Map batch for Zoro, which are technically regular rare recruits, as well as the Big Mom batch. Now, this batch is not going to include the new rare recruits, being the Sanji and the Zoro, but I can already tell you both of them I'm going to put them in godly, just because they are so freaking good. Like, they're a New Year's batch, like, they have to be, right? So, but then again, Scott put Goodbye on that they won't. We'll have to wait and see, but they do increase your buffs, which is always a valuable trait, especially in a rare recruit. But as for the K-Dad batch, the Okiku is actually really good. She has paralysis removal, and she has damage reduction removal. She also is a self-proccing conditional booster if you are running a slasher team, which is quite nice. But if you're not, she's basically the damage reduction. She makes orbs matching, and she's a chain booster, which is kind of nice as well. As for the Cat Viper, I do think the Cat Viper is a little bit off the rails, because they kind of went a bit, like, weird with Cat Viper. Mainly because she Cat Viper removes 2 turns of barrier straight away, which is good, but then also does slot effects by 2.25 for 2 turns. If you have 5 slashes, you also get threshold removal, and you get base stats if you have an orb boost. So, sorry, I was thinking about Kawamatsu. The Cat Viper, he's very good. Like, Cat Viper's great. Orb boosting, which is fantastic. Barrier removal, which is awesome for 2 turns, and can be a base stat booster. Very, very good rare recruit, as well as being a very, very good support, so make sure to max that out. The one that I was thinking of was actually Kawamatsu. Kawamatsu, they went a bit weird on, because Kawamatsu is an attack booster, but then if you have an attack boost, he becomes a color affinity booster. He does bind and despair removal and gives cooldowns, which is great, but the reason I don't like him is because when you're using him with K-Dad, and you use him first, you get a lower attack booster. So for me, he's just good. Cooldowns is honestly great, so you could probably say very good, actually. The cooldowns is probably the best part for me here. The bind and despair is nice. But the big upside for me is that he just gives the cooldowns. As for this particular Raizo, the Raizo definitely got the short end of the straw. He does a burn, but it's such a low burn. That's probably the only good thing about him. But he also does special bind and defense up. So look, he's okay, like, I guess. He locks orbs too, which is quite... Yeah, look, he's not bad. He's not bad. Not bad. Nothing special, but not bad. As for the rare recruits that came out with Zoro, both of these characters are very, very good. The lore in particular, I do like the most. The killer works great with with Kid, being with bomb slots and stuff. But the lore, if you have Dex, TND, or 1 on your on your characters, you get a chain boost for 1 turn. But then he also is color affinity and removes despair and paralysis. He's pretty good, but he's nothing crazy. To me, he's just very good. As for the killer, though, the killer is amazing when you run him under Kid, the super type Kid. He can remove resilience. He can remove he does a orb boost, and he can remove defense up as well. He also gives cooldowns, which is very, very good. But he only boosts driven and slashes, which is a bit of a downside. Your captain has to be driven and slasher, and if they have a bomb or super bomb slot, that's when he removes the resilience. But he locks orbs, which is so good for that Kid. Actually, I got them around the wrong way. The lore is, for me, is amazing, where the killer is actually... He's just very good, but you obviously need to run him alongside Kid. The final units on the list are the Big Mom batch, and honestly, the Otama, while she looked pretty good on paper, she's just not bad. Like, she works great for Big Mom, giving cooldowns. You can't use her special after you use it once. She has 4 turns of cooldown to a selected character, though, and she's an orb booster, so that's quite nice. The Frankie, though, I think the Frankie is an absolute chad. Honestly, the Frankie's up here in God tier. He is so good for Bariate, because he can remove damage reduction, he can remove attack down, he's an attack booster for 2.25 for inside characters, he gives special charge to your top row, and because he's a slasher, he can use the Mihawk support, and he also does damage, so very, very, very good character. Absolute amazing rare recruit, and one that I've actually used quite a lot since the release. As for Usopp, I haven't really touched Usopp too much, but he's still very, very good. Another character that can give cooldowns. He also does special one and paralysis by 5 turns, and then he delays for 2 turns. He gives cooldowns to everyone, but he gives your top row 2 turns of cooldowns. Nevertheless, like, he's good, but he's just not like anything too crash hot. So there you guys go. That is the rare recruit tier list for the end of 2022. As I mentioned, a massive, massive video. So for all you absolute chads that got to the end, I do appreciate the hell out of you. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to belt the like button for me. If you are new to the channel, you haven't done so already, hit that big red subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. If you have any discrepancies, if you guys think characters were misplaced, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Remember, this is all my personal opinion on playing the game. And as I mentioned, the new Zoro and the new Sanji, we will put them up here in our Godly for now. Because if you do pick them up, you do want to hang on to them, because they're the newest characters and they're going to be great for this particular month. So it goes without saying that they are on the Godly tier. Like I said, that's going to wrap up the video. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. God, that is so many characters, and don't bother.